Hi, Andrew.
Hello, it is so great to talk to you today. Thank you for the time.
My
Uh,
pleasure.
you've done some great, amazing films, but what is it like working on a Tom Cruise summer blockbuster? Because this film was humongous and it looks like it must have been a blast.
It was. It was amazing every day. Tom is enthusiastic and loves making movies every day, even on the hard, more trudging days. He's still there. If he has to be off camera for you, he stays there and puts his face right next to the camera. If the scene takes an hour of you just coming in, like I have this one scene where I just come in and say one word, Maverick, in a very pivotal scene, and he stayed there for the entire time and just gave me his eyes and gave me his energy. So it's like that. It's more so the little things. Every little aspect, or no little aspect, I should say, is overlooked or taken for granted. Even down to when one is speaking and the graphics on the screen are supposed to coordinate. Like he wanted that to happen in real time, in the room, not just some CGI that you do later in the movie to coordinate it. He wanted, when I spoke, the guys had to have the screen react to what I was saying. So it's those little things that let you know, and you go, wow. Because normally you go, why is that important? You go, oh wow, yeah, it's going to be on a 70 by 120-foot screen or whatever the measurements are, and hopefully millions of people are going to see it. And those are the moments when that comes to you.
That's cool. Well, how would you describe the Admiral?
I would describe him as a mediating force. He likes to keep calm. He knows he's in a chaotic situation, being in the military, and working on a machine of war that could be called to battle in any moment. So when that's your job, when that's your function, your job becomes calming, calming, calming. So my ultimate task, as you catch me in the movie, is trying to get my Maverick friend who I came up with as a pilot and who's uncontrollable, and trying to get him and the opposite, my boss, to try to come together and accomplish a greater task than all of us. So I try to keep my mind on the task and keep those personalities in check.
Well, I loved reading that you actually shadowed some admirals to get a
Yes.
sense of the job. And I loved your comment that it was equal parts mind-numbingly boring stuff and then moments of just like, boom, like huge
Yeah.
decisions.
Yeah. And that's what I mean. Yeah, 10 o'clock is tea, then 10:15 is some crazy decision having to do with, possibly thousands of lives if you make the wrong decision. And that goes back to your first question. That's why this is where you try to live, because the circumstances around you are going to be doing that. So you have to try to. So the movie just becomes an illustration of Warlock's ability to deal with countering forces.
Was there something being on this set? Was there something that felt like gave you a sense of the scale of the movie? Was there any particular scene? I mean, obviously, working opposite Tom Cruise would be one thing for sure, but
Well, yeah, I tell the story a lot because it's kind of illustrates the answer to your question. But my very first day was in front of the American flag, and it was the size of a hotel, like a 7-story hotel. And I had to give the speech introducing Maverick, which is iconic to me from the first movie, talking about just anything, any of those exposition speeches describing the mission, describing Maverick. I felt like, okay, here's mine coming, right? So I had my first day. We do about 3 or 4 takes. Tom isn't supposed to be there. We're just cutting after I finish, called introducing Pete Mitchell, call sign Maverick. Cut. I got all the pilots there. They're relaxing every time we cut. Then somebody comes over to me. Tom's here. He's getting dressed. So just do it again, but he's going to actually enter this time. And I hadn't met him yet. So I do my speech, call sign Maverick. The guys and girls start to relax a little bit, and then they hear footsteps, and then they're like, and then it's him coming. I stand to the side. Me and John Hammer were standing to the side. And so my meeting him was watching him be Maverick, drop the manual, and then come over and Morning, Charles. Welcome to set. So that was all that on the first day was just they threw me into the water from a 20-foot, diving board. And
That's
from then on, I was just kind of in it from that point.
that's amazing. What else can you ask for?
I know. It was. I couldn't have written that as an intro, but yeah, that was literally that's literally what happened. Like I'm not even exaggerating anything. The size of the flag, him being Maverick. I hadn't met him, and then he was Maverick, and then he turned to me and he wasn't. It was great. It was great.
Well, I understand that you grew up in Chicago. So the last
Yes.
thing I wanted to ask you, and I don't know where you're located now, but do you have a favorite thing about Chicago? Because I adore Chicago. So I was just curious what your favorite thing was.
Favorite thing? Oof, that's tough. Well, I'm in Los Angeles now. I'm born and raised in Chicago. I guess my favorite thing about Chicago is the neighborhood I grew up in, Hyde Park. All things Hyde Park. My friends, all my activities growing up there. My first girlfriends, my introduction to just about everything in life happened in Hyde Park. So that and the Cubs.
Amazing. Thank you so much for the time. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.